The time now is 12:52. Matthew, please go ahead and give us the presentation.
All right, will do. Aracelis, I was not able to share my screen. I just clicked it and it said that the host.
Let me go ahead and
Oh no, I'm host. I think I'm host right now. Am I
Let
host?
me.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go ahead and make you a co-host.
Okay.
See if it does that, and then I'll.
There we go. All right. Can everyone see the screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Great. So thanks for having us today. My name is Matthew Clem. I work in the City Planning and Development Department, and we are currently working on a study called the Dix Edge Area Study. And this map shows the study area. It's the area that is not kind of grayed out around the borders. So the study area focuses on the east and southeast areas next to Dorothea Dix Park. It includes Fuller Heights and Carolee Mills and Carolina Pines neighborhoods. There are a number of churches and other institutional and commercial areas or districts throughout the study area. And basically the city does these types of studies many times a year for various locations around Raleigh. And the purpose and really the focus of this study is to look at equity, displacement, housing affordability, and then development and future development. So a lot of these neighborhoods include some of the last remaining naturally occurring affordable housing in the city. And so what the planning department is doing is conducting a study to see how we can maintain or improve or increase the amount of housing in the area so that folks who live there can stay. And we know the city is continuing to grow and that more people will want to live here. So how can we make room for new people? Because we know that the city is growing and that is something that will in fact happen. Again, I think we're focusing on affordable housing incentives, trying to figure out how to work with the private development community to create more affordable housing. The city creates a lot of affordable housing on its own through subsidy from money that we get from the state and federal government. We also want to improve how people get around to and through the study area by improving sidewalks in transit and transportation, improving street connections, and making streets more comfortable for pedestrians and cyclists. There are some great parks in the area, so we're working with Parks and Recreation on how we can improve or what amenities are needed or improvements are needed to the existing parks. So there's Eliza Pool and Carolee Park are in the study area. And looking at just kind of overall transportation movement and traffic improvements as well. So those are kind of the things generally that we look at with these types of studies, and specifically for this Dix Edge area study as well. And that basically what we're doing here is the city has a long range plan. It's called the 2030 Comprehensive Plan. And it's a policy document that helps the city council make legislative decisions in the future. So the city council is the local elected legislature, and they make zoning laws and they make the annual budget. Those are their two biggest ways that they create and enact laws in the city. And so these types of plans that we're doing with like Dix Edge helps give the city council guidance on how and where they should spend money to make improvements for communities throughout the city. And how to create zoning and development laws to benefit these communities as well. So that's kind of our focus, and that's what the planning department does in general. I'll hand it over to Fabian. He's got some remarks he's going to make as well. Fabian, let me know when I can move these slides along for you.
Thank you, Matt. Hi, everybody. I'm Fabian Rodriguez. I work with the Community Engagement Division of the City of Raleigh. I am an assistant to the planning department at this time, helping with the Dix Edge study area. Thank you so much for having us today. Working with the community, getting to know them, and learning about their needs is extremely important for the success of this study. And we engage the community because it's so important. It provides the public, the residents of this neighborhood, the businesses, the opportunity to advocate for what they need. So it's an opportunity to say, like Matt already mentioned, you know what, I would like better sidewalks. I would like a better street, or maybe better intersections, maybe another park, maybe a better park. And so the role of the planning department is to provide this information, make these studies, let the people know about potential changes, but really they do not advocate on behalf of the particular issue. It's the residents, the people that say, I would like this or I would like that. The people have the power. And community engagement also helps the staff, um, the planners like Matt and Sarah, understand what the issues are, the problems that people are having in this area of the city or in their neighborhood. And the engagement ensures that the plan recommendations, the potential changes in the zoning, the potential better roads, the potential better parks, aligned with the experiences of the people who live there or are impacted. So it's basically for the benefit of the people that are already living in these neighborhoods. Next slide, Matt, please. And so we've been working really hard in this study because the census shows us that there is a large Hispanic population, residents, and businesses all around South Sanders Street, Carolina Pines, Lake Wheeler Road, and Wilmington. And so we're making a special effort to bring this study information, let people know about potential changes in the area, which they already are noticing, and inviting them to participate. So some of the things we have done since the beginning of the study include presenting to ALPES, which some of you know, it's a nonprofit organization with a focus on health. We have contacted all businesses in the study area physically, emails, phone calls. Um, we have shared the information with state and Wake County contacts, other partnerships. We had people from places like El Pueblo and Enlace Latino help us post our flyers in Spanish on their social media. Now we have now recruited a neighborhood ambassador that is gonna help us. Mr. Eduardo is his name. Is gonna help us in the next couple of months outreach even more the Hispanic community in the area and the businesses. We had a chance to on Saturday midday be at the Liza Pool Park, right at Carly neighborhood, and speak with the people at the playground. Speak with the people walking around the park, and we have posted the yard signs around the study area. Lastly, we have shared our videos and flyers translated to Spanish on Viva Raleigh, and the City of Raleigh Planning Department Facebook page. We have had meetings, the first two meetings, the visioning session and the work, the listening session and the visioning workshop. We have had those in Spanish, and we had Facebook live events on those. And so this is all really good, right? And we have had made great contacts with people and businesses, but it is really hard to have the input from the Hispanic community. Um, we're struggling to have people fill out our surveys, and so that's why we're here today. Can we go to the next slide? We have made big efforts to help the Hispanic community in this case understand um, the potential changes that the area might be having. It is a hot area, and there is potential for a lot of development. And so we want the Hispanic community to give us their opinion, their voice. And so far, we have not received all the input we would love to have, because we want them to be informed. We want them to understand their voice does matter. some people have, for example, have mentioned that they want better buses, more stops or more frequent stops, and that's exactly what we need. And so we're here today because we would like to ask you to please share our study information documents, translated documents on your social media networks. Maybe help us by recommending or introducing us to active community members that you might know. If you know businesses in the study area that would love more information, please let us know. You can always, if, I don't know if you can, but we would love for you if you can post it on social media, the updates of the study or flyers like you see on the screen right now. It's a flyer we made especially for the Spanish-speaking um, residents in the area. And also, if you have some other ideas on or how to be more successful at engaging the Spanish community in the area, we would love to hear from you. If you have experience with meetings or outreach that you say, try this or try that, please let us know. We really want to hear from you. And right now, we have had the opportunity to do a small interview with Pepe News. Pepe, thank you so much for your time. And we would love to invite somebody in the board to maybe help us host the meeting, hopefully in the near future when this virus goes away, or maybe through Zoom, to see if that helps the Hispanic community um, see a recognized face and come to the meeting to understand about the project, ask questions, and give us their input. At this time, we have a survey going on. It's gonna be open for a couple weeks, even up to December, that asks the public, the residents, to express their feelings, their needs, their wants, their hope, their vision for this area. And I'll be more than glad to share it with Ms. Aracelis. She can share it with the board. And we're asking all the residents in the study area, just to give you again an idea. We're looking at South Sanders Street, Lake Wheeler, Wilmington, Carolina Pines neighborhoods. There's a large Hispanic population there. To please fill out the survey and let us know about their concerns and even things they do love to maintain in their neighborhood. Next slide, please. I know it's a lot of information. You can please contact me later on if you would like, or Sarah or Mr. Matt. If you like more information about this study, we're more than glad to answer any questions, to share with you our efforts to include the Hispanic community in this study, asking them to please give us their input. Are there any questions or concerns at this time that you would like us to answer?
I have
Hi.
a question. I have a question. Is that okay? Yes, I would love to know the address, zip code, or something like that. I have tons and tons of Mexican clients, this is most of my clients actually, and would like to know who lives in that target area. I have addresses online and so forth, but I don't really know exactly who's in the target area. So is there some way, is it like a zip code or certain street addresses? If there's some way you could get that to us, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, we can follow up with that information for you. It's the district that we drew for the study is probably not exactly coincident with where zip code breakdowns may be or census tracts or whatever, but we can compile that information and send it back to the board. I don't know offhand. I can pull up a map right now and share it, but I just don't know if that would be the most efficient use of our time. Happy to do that, but we can also follow up that information for you. Absolutely.
Well, the map that you just had didn't have all the streets, so I would need a map that has all the streets. Okay.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, we can help you out with that.
Similar vein in that, does the area you're looking at go all the way down to Peach Community Center?
It doesn't.
No, that's just outside of the study area.
Because we've got a large Afghan community that we work with down near Peach.
Yeah, and a Mexican community as well in there too.
The Wexford.
Yeah, the Green Road.
Which I hate that apartment complex.
Yeah, I believe, I'm gonna share my screen again so we can look at the map. I believe it's just like, I think it's a little farther south of Pecan. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so this is kind of the southern border here
Okay.
of the study area. But I mean, still these studies, we don't just want to hear from people who live there in the study area. People may work in the study area. People still drive through the study area who don't live there. People go to Eliza Pool Park and they go to restaurants and they do their shopping and recreating. And so it's not that we just want voices from people who live there, because these lines are arbitrary in some regard. This is where we're looking to change policy and spend money to make improvements if that's what the community wants us to do. But folks nearby, we want to hear from as many people as we can, and as many perspective and a rich, diverse perspective of lived experience. And so that's really our goal with this and all of the work that we do.
So for a follow-up, we should just contact Sarah or Fabian, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think you would, Sarah's the project manager. I'm the assistant project manager, and Fabian is helping us of engagement. So we're doing really great cross coordination with their department. And so I would say email Sarah and copy Fabian. And then, between the three of us, we will absolutely get you the information that you need. And email us as often as you need. If a question comes up and you have something, we'll respond quickly. We don't want this to just be a single transaction. We're looking to rely on you all, your expertise, your familiarity with the community in the area throughout the life of the project, which will last for many more months. And so we can come back and update you here as often as you would like, or we can send you correspondence. We're just looking to engage in a meaningful way and make sure that the Hispanic community, their voices are represented when our city council, our legislature makes decisions.
Matt and Fabian, let's connect offline because El Centro, we opened a new office a little close, just right out of the zone, and we've been doing a lot of outreach to communities in the area. So let's connect offline to see how we can help you, get some of those responses as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Would you put your contact information on the screen again, please?
Of course.
I helped Sarah in a previous study, and our involvement was at that specific area and that specific place was extremely we brought people in. So if we all do this and reach out our contacts, I think that we can help the study a
Absolutely.
whole lot. Fabian, I will follow back up with you.
Thank you, Elsie.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like this is the study we're doing right now. Our department does this type of work all over the city all the time. This is the work that we do. And so if we can make informed and engaged citizens of people we've not connected with before, hopefully they can continue to come and work on different studies and have their voice heard in many different ways. And so this is not really the end. Again, we don't want to have this kind of transactional relationship. We want to engage citizens in a meaningful way and make sure that they know their voice can be heard, how and where it can be heard, and what changes that they can influence in their communities and their lives. And so it's what we do.
Any other questions before we move on? Well, we just want to thank you both for coming, the whole team, everyone that's here as an employee. We want to thank everyone for being here and presenting. You will have a lot of our assistants. We're excited to help with this. So thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Great presentation.
Thanks.
And we will be in touch.
Awesome.
So let's move on. So we went ahead and did the presentation, everyone, before we did roll call. The reason being is because it was getting into the time, and we have not yet done roll call. So first, I want to go ahead and say that today is November 21st. 2020. We started, I believe, at 12:52, and the meeting was called around 12:52, and we will now move to roll call. I'm sorry. Please state that you're present when your name is called. Pepe Caudillo.
Present.
Eleazar Posada.
Present.
Scott Phillips.
Present.
Ann Kayoko.
Present.
Andrea Martinez.
Present.
Bevan Smith, we were advised, was in a funeral. Ann Robertson.
Present.
Rasha Mohammed.
Present.
Virginia Rojas.
Present.
Elke Weil, present. Michelle Bermeo Betancourt. Michelle Bermeo Betancourt.
We can't hear you, but she is here.
Can y'all hear me
Okay.
Yeah, I
now?
was like,
There's an issue with the audio.
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, present.
thank you. Jordan Crumroy.
Present.
Cynthia Martinez Gonzalez. Not in attendance. Abdiel Martinez Ventura.
Present.
Idalia Arellano. Okay, it seems like we have quorum, so we will proceed. Next section, approval of Hispanic and Immigrant Affairs Board agenda. Has everyone had the opportunity to review today's agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay.
Was that who moved to approve?
Who moved to approve?
Liaison.
Yes.
Eleazar, and that was seconded by,
Adiel.
Adiel.
The motion passes. Today's agenda is adopted. We have moved around the presentation, so we will skip that presentation and move on to approval of minutes for previous meeting. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the meeting minutes from the October 24th meeting?
Yeah.
Highlighting again that the December meeting will occur December 19 instead of the 26th, which passed unanimously. Is there anything that needs to be corrected or would need to be changed from that meeting?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. And it's a permanent, and the motion moves to adopt. the
who
previous
was
agenda.
the move?
I think
and
it was Abdiel. No?
Adiel moved and Eleazar seconded? Okay.
Mhm. No. Eleazar.
Moved.
And
Mhm.
Scott seconded.
Scott.
Sorry,
seconded.
I'm not able to see you guys at the same time because I have two documents open.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so Eleazar moved, Scott seconded.
Okay. Right now, we're going to have a staff liaison report with Aracelis. Aracelis.
Not much to report at this time. Just one major thing I think is just be mindful of your absences. That is something that's very important. And as you know, I know you guys will be going over the bylaws today. That's something that's going to be very important that in the bylaws, it's making sure you're not absent or continuously absent without a proper excuse or whatnot. And again, you'll go over the bylaws, but just making sure that we're communicating regarding that. And the other thing is just being mindful that as you guys start working, potentially other boards might want to work with you guys, especially the board that you are, where you are working with the community that is hard to reach, the Hispanic and immigrant community. So lots of boards are definitely going to be tagging into to the resource that you can provide. So that's about it.
Thank you, Aracelis. Very important points. So we're now
Dr.
moving.
Caesar, I think Dr. Caesar has something to add.
Yeah, just a quick point of privilege. I want to thank everyone who participated in the Social Equity Book Club. I want to thank Pepe for facilitating that conversation. I did have a chance to speak with the author today, and I did want to share some information, and he said it was okay to share with you all, so I will. During the session, he experienced a neurological event, and so if you were wondering if some things seemed repetitive or if there were some challenges responding to questions, that is why. He sends his apologies and says that we can schedule another opportunity to review his book or his other books that are coming out next year. And the author was Sergio Troncoso. So I just want to make sure that I said that, and I thank Pepe for his support in the effort.
Thank you for that, Dr. Caesar.
Thank you. Was it recorded? Was the book club recorded?
It was not.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Caesar. Okay. So now we're moving on to the leadership report. Just want to bring up a few things. We will be moving on to the bylaws very soon, but before that, we want to table or bring up the idea of doing a getting to know you session, getting to know one another here in this board. Other boards have done that. So before we do with other boards, we should get to know one another. So the get to know you session consists of getting to know one another via Zoom. The meeting would begin with an icebreaker with a variety of topics, mostly related to our volunteer time here with the city of Raleigh. We will then break out into rooms of 3 or 4, depending on how many have come to the meeting. And just to make mention, it's like speed dating online. That's what I've been told. Depending on attendance, to share with one another and get to know each other a little more. We believe it's important for us to get to know each other a little more than a few paragraphs. Is this something we would want to do? And if so, could we do it before the end of 2020? We will need to add minutes to a meeting or do a special meeting, which is what I would suggest, if we are interested in doing this. And if so, I will open the floor for discussion. If not, I could entertain a motion.
I move that we have a get to know you session.
Okay.
I second. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Thank you. And this would be before 2020 ends. Just FYI. Okay. Great.
Do you guys want to set a time now, or do you want to move forward and set it up later?
I have here that it would need to be before the December 19th, but I know that everyone has a lot of leniency around that time. Like not everybody is at work, so they'll have a lot more time. So I was thinking about just doing a doodle, which to what day everyone would work best, but it's open to discussion.
I think with the number of people we have, a doodle is an excellent idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Okay. So we will be following up via doodle.
It could be like our holiday party.
I like the idea.
Will it be recorded?
I guess we could vote on that. But we could have drink. No, I'm just kidding.
So that's actually a good question. Dr. Caesar or Araceli, maybe you guys can answer that. we officially move and vote on it, does it then become an open meeting?
No, if you won't be conducting the business of the board and it is strictly a social meeting, it does not have to be public.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then in that case, I don't think there needs to be any minutes. So it could, again, as long as you're not working, it's not business and it's just more getting to really know each other, creating some questions to ask each other and just, getting to know you. You won't need to do that. Now, you do have to vote on it as a team that you want to do that and to move forward and make sure that everybody is in agreement. So
I can't see everybody. So I vote that we move to have this meeting. This get to know.
Is there a
you.
motion?
Yes.
Oh, she made a motion. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. A motion was already established. And there was a second. Is that correct, Andrea?
Yep, Russia seconded.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So now would be the time, is what you're asking, Andrea. I'm not Andrea, Aracelis.
I think we actually have to vote on it. I mean,
have to
the
vote.
motion was done and seconded. We need to go through the roll call vote.
Okay. Fire raise of hands. Hold on one second. So okay. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How many? Okay. Andrea?
That should be unanimously passed.
Yeah, everybody.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone against? I think.
Anyone
everybody
against?
voted.
I apologize.
Looks like we're having a social session.
With no recording.
With no recording.
What are their alcohol rules on that? I'm going to bring my own holiday brew.
We'll talk about that later. Moving on to the next.
And holiday recipe to the whole board.
I'm kidding.
So we are moving on to the report out of the governance committee. Anne was pivotal in the drafting of the proposed bylaws that were sent to you earlier today. The proposed bylaws were sent to everyone before the meeting to give the board some time to review. The board will be voting on all sections in the December meeting. We want everyone to have the opportunity to read through the bylaws that were proposed, and during this time, come back with any new suggestions or revisions for the December meeting. If we agree on the proposed committees, we would need to vote on them at the next meeting. And I will be sending a form to ask, a Google form, a sort of Google form, to ask members which board they would like to be a part of, or what new boards they would want to add. I want to make note that this committee did and have, so when you look at the, can you put the bylaws?
I cannot. So we are going to share today and discuss. Is that correct?
We're not going to discuss. I just wanted to highlight that the mentions of the committees are posted as requested on section 3. They're mentioned, but there's no description. So that's something that we will be working collaboratively at a later time.
Okay,
but
so I think our next step is, once the bylaws have been voted upon by the board, then the process is it goes then to council, correct, Dr. Caesar? Correct me if I'm wrong. Once that's approved, then I guess we can move on with the assignment of specifically those committees specifically that are the subcommittees and committees that will be created. So I'll go ahead and upload it. If you give me just a second, it should be coming up. Let me know if this is the correct one. Can you see it?
Yes.
Very, yeah.
If it's big
Kind of.
enough.
Yeah.
So Elke, just to clarify on my end, we are not discussing or voting today. We're just presenting.
We're presenting, yes, correct. The reason being is, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days is not enough time for all of us to, meticulously look at the bylaws and think about what it is that we all, as a whole, believe should be instituted in the bylaws. These bylaws are amazing, and between all the individuals that were in the committee, not Anne and Abdiel and everyone else, they did an amazing job. But it's common practice to actually allow boards to have time to read. So yes, it's read and review. So the only point that I wanted to make, which was down in Article 3 or Section 3, I'm sorry. I'll keep going down. Which is where the committees are, which is what Aracelis was talking about.
Okay,
Right
can you see
here.
the section?
Yes, go up a little bit, just a tiny bit more. Okay, so a lot of the wording that is instituted in this in these bylaws were taken from the city of Raleigh, along with some other verbiage that was shared by Ms. Robertson. The point that I was trying to make was in the standing committee sections, the ones that were mentioned, and down in standing committees, the ones that were mentioned were governance and leadership, which is the one that actually did the proposing of the bylaws, communications, community engagement, cultural celebration together. Actually, that is incorrect.
Is this the area you're talking about here?
Correct. Mhm.
Okay.
So community engagement and a cultural celebration would be together. Economic development and social justice and public safety committees. Those are just they're there, but I don't know, like based on what you said, we would have to come back to all of that. Is that correct?
Right, so you guys have to vote on this, right. So then you can't assign who's going to be working on these until the bylaws is adopted, correct?
Right. So
that means they're being proposed right now, and then we would vote on them after reviewing them in December. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But these are not right. This is a draft. So the whole board is entitled to add or mention or make suggestions to this.
So just quick question. This is proposing 6 committees, 1 being governance leadership, 2 being communications, 3 being community engagement and cultural celebration, 4 being economic development, 5 being social justice, and 6 being public safety.
No, it's social justice and public safety is supposed to be together. I apologize on.
Okay, so it's 5 then.
It's 5.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So
I will send that copy shortly.
Elke, this is Jordan. It looks like an hour ago when you sent the email, there is a second attachment that has little descriptions for the committees that might help folks.
Right. And that's what I was getting to, but I wanted to address this first, because we had discussed those committees. The committees that were noted in that committee section were the ones that were discussed, and I think the first 3 were the ones that were adopted before, I think it was October 24th, before we went into the committees. So that was the communications one, the cultural one. There was a mention of rapid response. So we just went ahead. I went ahead and we had him in initially. We took him out, and then we're sending that to have folks have an understanding of what is being proposed, but it's not within the bylaws or it's not drafted. It's just like, here's some information on what it is that we're proposing, and we can add more to that.
Gotcha. So it's just allowing us to basically to chime in with if we want anything added or changed about those descriptions.
Yeah, but based on what Araceli says, it comes back it has to be proposed, and then it has to come back from
gotcha.
From city of Raleigh. So this is not final. This won't be final till the city sends it back.
Okay. And then just quick question, as the definition stands right now, then those who were a part of making the proposals for the bylaws, would that be defined currently as a standing committee or the task force? Like, does that currently fall under governance and leadership, or is that just something like a task force that we're
It's defined as governance and leadership.
Okay.
So those, yeah. But it's
right.
not.
I think originally when you guys voted, it was a tentative committee that was going to be working on this specifically, on this task specifically. Right. And then again, once this is all voted upon, accepted, then you'd be able to join in any of those committees. So yes, the committee that worked on it at this moment is just a tentative committee. But my understanding is that would be the governance and leadership.
It would fall under that one.
Correct.
It would be policy, because right now the one that was noted was policy and bylaws. So yes, and that's why that other sheet was important, because it has all of the information that noted the ad hoc committee that you're discussing.
Do you need anything else uploaded, or you're still working?
No,
on this?
this would be it.
Okay.
Thank you for doing that work, Elke. I know it was a lot of research that you, Anne, and Adiel put into it beforehand, so that basically we could just have it open there for us, so we could just read it and understand. So thanks.
Well, I wanted to commend Elke because she did some great work by looking at some other boards and coming up with some really good ideas. And she read everything where I made mistakes and made corrections and so forth. So Elke has worked very, very, very hard on this. I want everybody to know that.
It was a team effort, y'all. This is a board that we're all a team. So this is how we're going to move forward. So you can take that down unless, does anyone have questions at this time? We're not voting on the bylaws at this time. I'm just entertaining any questions that may arise from what we've presented thus far.
You want me to stop sharing?
Yes, please.
Woo, it's moving along.
Right. So as we move to old business, there is not much that we're getting ready to vote on today. Since we're allowing 30 days for board members to review and come back with any proposed changes to the draft and bring up into the next meeting. If there are any changes that you would like to incorporate, please bring them up to the meeting. Send them to us so we can compile the changes. Myself, I would say the committee itself. So if you could send them to me or Anne or Eleazar or Abdiel, actually, you just send them to me and we'll compile it to be addressed at the next meeting. Any questions? Okay. So we don't have any actions to be approved or voted upon. Do we have any public comment?
No public comments. I don't have anything.
Okay. I move that we adjourn this meeting. Do I get a second? Or first?
I'll second that motion.
So are we done?
Yeah, no, I said I moved to adjourn this meeting and I needed someone to.
Oh, and second it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So that's it.
Ooh, efficient.
Yay, amazing.
Look at us go.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah.
for working on the bylaws and stuff, y'all. I think that'll definitely make for a good meeting next month as well. And I'll definitely let y'all know the feedback before the next meeting.
Yeah. That's what I mean. We didn't want to keep getting stuck in sections. So that's why, I mean, in theory, that's why we decided to hold and have the committee. And again, everyone did fantabulous work. Fantabulous is not a word, fabulous work. But we thought it was Anne's idea to move forward. And in a lot of spaces, you are allowed. You're supposed to have, not actually decide on bylaws the same day. So this gives us all the time to take it in, read, and move forward. So I'm happy that everyone is okay with that and that we're gonna get to know each other next month and also get these bylaws sent off to the city council for 2021. So
I'll send out a reminder in a week if that's helpful to ask people to look at the bylaws, because I know I'll be getting into holiday stuff, so I'll just send out an email in a week or so just to let everyone know before the next meeting, or maybe after Thanksgiving. That's better. After Thanksgiving, I will do that.
Yeah,
So-
Elke and Adriel, thank you so much for the work y'all did on this. And Andrea and Araceli for supporting this work. So I just want to say
Yes,
y'all did
Araceli.
amazing.
Yes.
So thank you so much for all that great work. Just last thing, any comments, questions, send directly to Elke, right?
well, I was gonna say, let's open this document up for everyone so it doesn't come and everyone make comments. I think comments and edits would be better than sending everyone emails. It's a busy season for everyone, and I'm sure everyone's getting killed with a bunch of promotional emails in your email. So, and I know that we've closed out, but I would suggest that better. Like I will make everyone a collaborator. And I'll still have the final copy. We will still have the final copy. Everyone has the final copy. But then if we go in as a team and kind of make some edits and add some stuff, everyone is able to look at it.
Yeah, that sounds a lot easier and a lot less work for you.
Right. Aracelis, is that something that we could edit now, or I just had that thought?
I don't think we can do that.
I'm sorry, anything that you can edit on the.
No, just deciding that rather than email, just editing.
Well, you've adjourned your meeting, so I guess
Yeah.
you have to
Okay.
retract your adjournment.
No worries. I have to do what I have to do. Which I have no problem doing.
Well,
So yes.
Technically, we never voted on the adjournment.
On the adjournment.
So
Oh,
it
that's
never
right.
actually
We
passed.
never
So we're
voted.
still in session. So we can go ahead and Elke, as a chair, if you decide to announce that you'll be doing the open document rather than the emails, we'll be completely good.
You do have 20 minutes.
So wait a minute, we didn't do the adjournment?
It was
No,
the
we didn't
second,
vote
You didn't
on
vote on it.
but no one voted. So technically,
Okay.
no.
I'm sorry, guys, both of the times. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So before we adjourn, if we could please, you will be receiving a Google email or Google Edit access to a working document. Please put any edits, comments on the document, which would be the bylaws proposed draft. Now we are moving to vote to adjourn the meeting. Can I get by a raise of hands those that would like to adjourn the meeting? Okay. I only see your face. I don't know why.
Do we have to make the motion first again and then second it? Or do we have
It's still on, it's still on the table.
It's still on the
table.
table because it was never
It's
taken
still,
out.
it's still there. The motion's still there.
Sorry. I wasn't sure.
Parliamentary procedure is wonderful, y'all.
I know.
For those that are, yeah, okay. Hold on.
Anyone against?
Anyone against?
Adiel, baja la mano.
Adiel, are you against? Okay. I think the motion passes.
All right.
Motion
See y'all.
passes to adjourn the meeting.
All righty.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see everybody.